So a lot of people ask me, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, must you stop using sugar? And I always find it very, amazing and quite shocking that people don't realize that too much sugar and too much carbohydrates causes diabetes and insulin resistant and everything that goes with having too much sugar in your diet. And so the next thing they always would tell me is, but I don't take a lot of sugar. I take maybe 2 teaspoons of sugar in my tea, and they do not understand that processed foods, foods that come in a box, has so much hidden sugars and hidden glucose in the product that pushes up the insulin constantly on a daily basis. So I have always demonstrated to people how much sugar in an average day the average person takes in their diet. So a healthy body at any given stage has about 5 to 7 grams of sugar in their bloodstream, or glucose in their bloodstream. 5 to 7 grams, and that's on average a teaspoon of glucose or sugar in the bloodstream. Anything above 5 to 7 grams, the body releases insulin from the pancreas to contend with the excess glucose that comes into the body to get it back to a normal, healthy, manageable amount in the body. So you wake up and you are hungry, and so you decide to have a healthy breakfast. And we go and we reach for a lovely Future Life or Pronutro or any of these kind of breakfasts, one of these, and we don't realize how much glucose or sugar is in an average bowl. So we take an average 100 grams that the box suggests we must eat. 100 grams is a small bowl of porridge, and in 100 grams of Future Life or any of these porridges, there is an average of 45 grams, which they say, they're very clever on the box, they say it's carbohydrates, of which sugar is only 15.6 grams. And it's confusing because carbohydrates automatically turns to sugar in the blood. So there's 45 grams of sugar or glucose in an average quarter bowl of porridge. And 45 grams looks like this. Say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 43 or 45. That's in 100 grams of a quarter cup of glucose or porridge. And then you put your 2 teaspoons of sugar, which is like 1, 2 tablespoons, 3, 4, that's 2 tablespoons of sugar you put over your porridge, and you add some milk. And milk has got natural glucose, it's got naturally sweet. So on average, you put another 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. That's your bowl of porridge in the morning. And then you decide to have a cup of tea, cup of coffee with your porridge in the morning. And let's say you put 2 teaspoons of sugar in your tea or your coffee, and another quarter cup of milk. That's another 1.5 teaspoons, say. And that is what you have before 9 o'clock. You have a quarter cup of sugar in your body. So by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you are starving because the body hasn't registered that you've eaten. Because only fat, only good fat, register the mechanism in the brain that say you're full. And your porridge that you had first thing in the morning maybe had a small bit of fat, from animal fat, from the cream. And that's not enough to tell the brain that you've eaten and that you are satiated, because only good fat put down the mechanism to say to your body you're full. And so you go, it's 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you're starving. And so you reach for a sandwich. And you take your 2 slices of white bread, and with some margarine and some jam. And an average slice of white bread has up to 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. Glucose, 1, 2, 3, and you have 2 slices, 1, 2, 3. And if you've got jam or peanut butter or something else, you've also got another 2, at least 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar, depending on what you have on your slice. 2 slices of bread and a cup of tea. You have another cup of tea with 2 teaspoons of sugar in it. This is a half a cup or almost a cup full of sugar before 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, you're starving because you didn't have the right fats. You have plastic fat on your bread. This is not, there's omega-9s, omega-6s, it's not omega-3s, and your body hasn't registered that you ate, and you're still starving and you're so hungry, and you reach for a pie, a chip roll, another 2 slices or 4 slices of bread, and you add, say, let's go for another sandwich, 2 sandwiches, one, well, that's 3 teaspoons, and another teaspoon, another slice of white bread, that's 3 teaspoons. And maybe you have a cold drink, right? So let's see, this is jive, they say yeah, 100 grams. The energy content is 70. So we don't know. So they confuse you, but you don't drink 100 grams. This is a 250, 100 milliliters, I mean. This is a 251. Is it? No. It's a 500. A 500 milliliters. So they put the 250 and 150 milliliters, but they don't tell you 500. And an average cold drink like this have about a 1/4 cup of sugar in it. And I'm not going to even count it. It's about that much of sugar that you have in your drink if you're drinking one of these. It's even worse if you have one of these that is just sugar. It is completely 55 grams of sugar in one of these. And so you have eaten about a cup and a half of sugar. By 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you are starving. And you grab an average little bar, and it's promoted as a health bar because it's got all cranberries and wonderful, you know, it's also another Future Life. And one of these, on average, have about 2 to 3 or 4 teaspoons of sugar. These. And then you probably have another little cookie, a biscuit or something, because you are shaking, because your energy levels is now dropping by the end of the day. And you have another cookie, a biscuit. Some of us have even more bread, because bread is the easiest, and you are almost up to 2 cups of sugar for the day. And then you get home, or you know, you start making supper, you come thinking of supper, and everybody's hungry. And what's the quickest supper? A bowl of pasta, or a food with rice, and a plate of rice, an average plate of rice, or an average plate of pasta with potatoes, with is another 1/4 cup. I'm not even going to count a plate of sugar, a plate of rice, plate of sugar with an average rice or whatever and potatoes. This is what you down in a day, on average. The average community person, the average person that eats pasta, rice, bread every day, this is what they eat. They on average down in a day, where the body can only contend with that, a healthy body. And the body pushes out so much insulin all the time to get rid of that amount of sugar or glucose in the blood system, that the insulin remains high. The insulin tries to, and where does the body stores this amount of sugar or glucose? Around belly fat, visceral fat, belly fat, around the waist, hips, thighs, and this is what we convert into fat, because where does the body go with all the sugar that is trying to get rid of, which is actually energy. And now you're not active, you're not burning, but even if you climb Table Mountain 10 times, you won't get rid of 1.5, 2 glasses or 3 glasses of sugar a day if you eat your processed foods, your pastas, your rice, your potatoes, all those things, rice, potatoes, even just sugar, your average sugar. The body won't be able to get rid of this if you do it every single day. The insulin stays high, and the mechanism to remove the sugar eventually breaks and not work optimally. Hence, you get diabetic, and you need to eventually get insulin. You have to inject yourself with insulin because the insulin mechanism breaks. So added to this, the high insulin that inflames the body, keeps the body in a high stress, high functioning mode because of the high insulin. It inflames the body so much. Then, to add insult to injury, or is it injury to insult? We use this. Seed oils, canola oil, sunflower oil, seed oils, rapeseed oil, all these oils that is highly processed. It is not, we say it's natural oils because it's sunflower seed, but it's got so much chemicals. We can't even read the stabilizers and the colorants and the chemicals that goes into this. And at some process in the making of seed oils, it is black, and they add more chemicals to it to give it the golden color. And the body, omega-6, omega-9 oils, it can't process it. And so it says there's a foreign object in the body, it inflames the body, add it to the sugar, and that's where disease and things start going wrong in our bodies, because we combine high sugar with the wrong oils, and we get our body constantly inflamed. The headaches, the diabetes, the cancer producing, the eczemas, the bad gut health, all comes from using all these processed foods and things in our diet instead of healthy foods that has the nutrients, that has the stuff that is natural to the body, that the body uses to protect and heal and fight infections, diseases, boost our immunes. And these are the two culprits: sugar and carbohydrates, processed carbohydrates and bad oils. And the sad thing is, we feed our children this stuff. We feed our children all these chemicalized, high sugar products every single day. We give them these things. We give them things that is supposed to, it's vanilla caramel flavored. It's not the original thing. with so much sugars, so much carbs. We give them these colored cool drinks with God knows what are the colorants and the flavorants in these things. An average little yogurt has about 21 teaspoons of sugar, glucose, grams. 21 grams, if you want to know how much 21 grams is, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21 grams in an average little yogurt. This one also, and it says if it's got fruit in it, if it's flavored and it's got fruit, it has more sugar. It says it's natural because it's got the probiotics in it, and it's got bacteria and gut, but when it's got sugar in it, it kills the good bacteria in the yogurt. And you do not want to eat flavored yogurts, even if it's got fruit in it. It kills the natural yogurt bacteria that's supposed to be good for you. It is so easy to fix your health just by eating green leafy vegetables, anything green, anything fresh, anything that has the right omegas, the right oils, the right fats. Let's start with the right oils. Olive oil, 100% extra virgin olive oil. That's the fat you need. Or you can have rendered fat, sheep fat, beef fat, lamb fat, chicken fat. You cook with this. The right fats, these are the omega-3s that is so good for the brain, healthy gut, healthy body, the optimum fats that we can need, that we need. Coconut fat, coconut oil, absolutely brilliant to cook in. These are some of the fats. Flaxseed oils, nut oils, light oils, but not seed oils. And just good old whole butter, not your margarine, not your processed fat. Good old plain butter. Full cream, fresh cream, very good for you. Sour cream, amasi, cultured buttermilk, very good for you. Greek yogurt, it's full fat. You need the fat. We've been, for centuries, we lived and thrived on fat, full fat, everything full fat. Full fat cheese, different cheeses. This is feta cheese, normal cheese, that you eat, not the processed stuff. Don't use the processed cheese. Full cream, full fat cheeses, absolutely wonderful. And then your meats, you need grass-fed, proper meats, preferably. Eggs, good proteins. You must try and get your good proteins in as far as possible. And we're going back to eating your offal, your chicken livers, heart, liver, lung, liver, ox liver. All these things are absolutely healthy for you. Berries, and where's that under? These are all healthy for you. Pumpkin instead of butternut, because pumpkin has a lot of anything with fiber in it. Green leafy vegetables, these have all got healthy fiber in it. Your cauliflower, your peas, your beans, sprouts, and not potatoes, sweet potato, because of the fiber. The fiber takes the natural sugars and glucose found in these vegetables and takes it out because it's high in fiber. And your whole fruits, not fruits that you find in the processed fruit, whole fruits, absolutely imperative. Garlic, ginger for immune boosting, those are all the things that you can eat. And then for good gut health, kimchi, fermented foods, any fermented foods, I don't have it now here, the fermented foods, fermented cabbage, fermented foods, even achas with vinegar in it and all that, absolutely imperative for good health. It is not necessary that you have diabetes or that you are prone to setting yourself up for cancer, high blood pressure, even heart disease. It's not necessary. If you can eat like this, and these are stuff that you can buy at your local fruit stall, in the townships if you need to, and find your local place where you can get fresh green vegetables constantly, and just make the changes for your fats. I promise you, your diabetes will disappear, your heart disease will start clearing out, your high blood pressure will go away. It is all these and the sugar and the processed foods that keep yourself sick and unhealthy, and getting the headaches and getting the migraines and the high blood pressure. And we know high blood pressure is a precursor for heart disease, for stroke, for diabetes, and for all the inflammatory diseases that we are sitting with in an epidemic in this country. And with COVID around, we cannot play around with our health anymore. You need to eat like this for good immune to fight COVID. So do the right thing and eat healthy.